my number one advice for those that are starting, don't try to shortcut and it's not worth it.
What are some keys to growing a great community?
Giving value first and then selling on the back end.
In businesses, you have to master forecasting.
Sharing that vision with the wrong person can stop you and hinder you from actually taking action and go forward.
It's good.
There are two things I recommend couples to do if you're trying to grow a business together. First thing is,
it has to work or it has to work.
Welcome to Circle of Greatness. I'm your host, Nehemiah Davis, and I'm super excited about this episode. Y'all raved about our last all-girl boss episode where we had some lady bosses. So I said I had to run it back with some more lady bosses. We got D. Walker in the building. We got Coach K in the building. We got Coach Cassandra in the building. How y'all ladies doing?
good. Amazing.
I really wanted to do this because I feel like all of y'all from all different walks of life, meaning y'all all do different things, right? But y'all all are doing them very well while managing families, while managing motherhood, while managing life, and also helping other ladies, you know, step into their own power. So I just want to say I acknowledge all of y'all and super grateful to have y'all on here.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. How are y'all managing? Let's start with you. We talking about pregnant.
Yeah.
And still doing it effortlessly and still working hard. How you doing? Like, what's the motivation right now?
My family, like, we come from a background where my mama had to work 2 to 3 jobs to take care of all 7 of us. So we said, whoever make it first, let's make sure everybody get out of that rut. So, yeah.
So D, I mean, we talk every week from just, things helping me understand my wife, understand life, right? And just, I'm grateful for that because I'm learning more and more. Like, it's just, thank you for that. So for you, I mean, you coach a lot of women in business, right? On husbands and just doing it right. What's some keys right now to managing that home and managing, you also got to keep you right too, right? Because it's a lot on you ladies. Like, you got to make sure the house good, make sure the kids good, make sure the business good, make sure your job good. And you still got to pour into your own cup. So for the ladies listening, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love that. And thank you for that, Neil. Yeah. We also acknowledge you, my dear. Seriously. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate everything that you're doing. As far as us and women, what I think of when you asked me that was time management. And I realized that's something that a lot of people struggle with. If you are dating, married, or you are the entrepreneur in your relationship, one of you guys have to be heavy on organization and time management, or not it's gonna go haywire. Most entrepreneurs, as yourself, Neil, they tend to be the visionaries, and therefore, most of the time, their strength or gift is not organization. When you're an entrepreneur and your strength and gift is organization, you're good. You got that part. But when it's not, and you're that visionary, you're just always coming up with the next idea, next concept, you need people on your team, your CEO, your operator, to be able to help you manage all that together, right? Well, that message gets lost when it comes to your partner. And that's when a lot of clashing happens, because if I'm always running, always providing, and yet I don't have someone at home to keep all that together that I can't give attention to, then the home can get gang-related. And that's a lot of what we're working on. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right? I mean, y'all agree, right? Yeah, absolutely. We Bloods and Crips. Sometimes I'm a Crip. I throw the gang signs. Yeah, it's not perfect. Yeah. And, I got to give you kudos, mommy. 4 children. We didn't say 4 children. It's 4 kids, y'all. She on her 4th baby.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, because that's a lot. I only have 2 babies, and they're older now. But managing that, my key thing is, and Neil, I'll never forget your mom for this. 10 years ago, we were honoring you at our nonprofit gala, and Mom Grace came up to me and she was like, "You just had a baby. You look good, girl." And I'm like, "Thanks, Mom Grace." She was, "I'm gonna tell you now, honey, whatever you do, always look sexy for your man." And I took that literally.
Coach, I want to say you just transitioned in full-time entrepreneurship, right? Wow, yeah, congratulations to you. Wow. I see you on the road, like you speaking everywhere, you doing workshops, you helping do grants, you running a grant company, like you're super active. How are you managing all of that from you have 1 daughter, correct? From your daughter, right, to your family, to on the road. I know right now, this season, from what I look at, when I look at you, like I'm putting in this work.
Yeah.
Talk to me about like
My
that.
village,
Yeah.
my village, and being in the space where I was comfortable to ask my village for help. There was a long time when I wanted to do it all by myself, right? Because being that mother, you just want to take it all in. So being able to reach out to my family and my friends and saying, hey, I got to be gone for a week. I need you to step in. But recently just retired my mom, so she can come in and I can take a week off. And not a week off from being a mother, never off, but be gone for a week so I can be at events like this and things. So just having that village, having somebody who can come in and just kind of give me a breather for just a second so I can go out and be the face of the brand.
Yeah, why do you feel like you couldn't? Why didn't you want to ask, I guess?
Sometimes just being a mother, you just want to do it all. And just being prideful, you just don't want to ask for help. You think you can tackle every task. You don't want to feel like you're letting yourself down or letting your kids down. So you just want to take on every task possible. And it can be draining. It can be overwhelming. So just being able to have the people around you where you can say, hey, I need help with this, or coach me on this, or give me advice on this, just makes a huge difference.
That's good.
Neil, can I add something
Absolutely.
to that? I love that you said that, Mommy. So one of the things I realized in the years of coaching us dominating women, right? We're in the position we in because we know how to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think that we were stuck in what I like to call a jar for so long. And when men approach me, successful men that are also dating successful women or married to them, it's like, well, she never lets me help her. She want to do it all. Miss Lil Independent is what they like to call them. It's like, well, she's been stuck in a jar for so long. And jar for me is, she's afraid to be judged. She's afraid of abandonment. And she's afraid of rejection. And sometimes when a man comes in, if he does not know how to treat those wounds, you're gonna keep getting that jar-like effect from your woman.
Yeah.
And when you said this, like you mentioned 2 of the 3 things that most women always say, right? So I would say when you see that you have someone such as any of us that you're dating and they're similar, and it's like, well, she's just always trying to figure it out, and she always complaining that I don't help her, but she don't let me help her. 9 times out of 10 is that we have that trauma, because I have it too, of not wanting to feel any of those 3 things. So judgment, abandonment, rejection.
That's good.
That's good. That's good. So you were recently homeless.
Yeah.
Like we talking about less than 5 years ago, right? Was
Yeah.
that
4 years.
2019?
29. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's someone listening. What's your message to that young lady who right now at a spot, and I'm looking at it now, I'm looking at you live your dream life, you just bought your dream home, you provide for your family, you hire employees, 10,000 square foot, where you got a lot going on, and there's somebody going through it, specifically a lady like, man, I'm ready to quit, I'm ready to give up. What kept you going, I would say, right? And give a message to that person on like this 4 years ago, things could change fast. So I want you to kind of give a message to that lady listening right now.
I would say find your why. Like my why for me was when I got evicted, having to bring my son with me into the hotel. And it was at a time where, and I don't want to cry, like that was just like, ugh. But it was at a time where I felt like taking myself out because I'm already feeling like a failure. I dropped out of 12th grade, had 2 kids by the age of 18, moving in with my sister, back in with my cousin. Like you could have just called me just can't get right because I could just never get right. Think about my wife, my kids. They didn't deserve to be here. They didn't ask to be here, but I couldn't give up because of that.
Wow, I need
It's like we had no choice since we were younger to
Yeah.
not give up.
Yeah.
You have your son who saw that fire in you, who saw that you couldn't give up. He's not going to give up. He saw that. I have that from my mom where I realized, okay, we were homeless. We were living from car to car. And then after that, it was room to room. And then she finally was able to buy her first home. And that was a battle. You weren't allowed to buy a home if you weren't married, back then. So seeing that, it's like, that's why I have that fire and that drive. But now let's fast forward to now you're married to a successful man. And hold on, all that energy, all that, you can say what you want, do what you want, act how you want. You got to kind of bring that down a little bit. So how do you still keep that fire going? How do you still be as disciplined and don't give up and fiery and make things happen, but still be, like I call a lamb with your husband. And these are those things that I feel like people don't understand until they see the perspective of it all. Even with that fire, even with those experiences, we still have to figure out how to manage all that energy and fire and dedication, right? So that we can be who we need to be for our family.
So for y'all ladies, what's some new things going on in y'all businesses? Anything that, you know, like, anything you would want to share with a lady, right, that a mistake you made that you want them to look out for? In business, we all make mistakes, so whether it costs us money or not, any mistakes you might have made, because you're new to business, right? Meaning new to full-time business, like any mistakes you made where you like, watch out for this. Like, I'm always trying to make sure I'm helping somebody. I don't want you to ever go through what I went through. If I can give you the fast pass, I'm trying to do it. So if y'all could share something that maybe something that, yo, watch out for this.
For me, it's sharing your vision with the wrong people. You know, sometimes you can tell people what you want, your journey and where you want to go, and they might have they might not have the entrepreneurial mindset. So they're going to talk you out of taking action. They're going to tell you you're crazy for what you want to do. So sharing that vision with the wrong person can stop you and hinder you from actually taking action and going forward.
That's good. That's power. I tell people the biggest way to kill a big dream is to introduce it to a small mind. That's, you know what I mean? That's every day of the week you will lose with that. It's like you like, yo, I want to go become a full-time entrepreneur. You could go tell your coworker that it will never make sense for them. No, why would you do that? It don't make sense. Yeah. So I tell people all the time, I want you to share your vision, but you also gotta protect it. Yeah. Right? Anything you went through that you like, yo, watch out for this?
Hiring teams. Just the hiring process. When I first got into hiring, I was hiring people that was my friends, that I was cool with, because I'm trying to put them on. Like, y'all, let's get to this bag. But when I seen that they wasn't taking my business and treating it like their baby like I was, my family was like, don't hire nobody else. That's how I even ended up hiring 5 out of my 6 siblings, because it's like they understand the struggle we went through, and I felt like nobody was going to carry this business like they would, because they know they the next generation of curse breakers. So when people say, I can't hire my family.
I say most people say that. I'm like,
everybody can't go with you.
Yeah, that's all I want to hire.
That's good. What type of conversations are y'all having now? Like, are y'all having about just getting to that level? What are you like? How's that
definitely getting to the next
dynamic now? Because you are still the boss. Like,
yeah.
Tell me, like, do you got to cut that on and off? Like, my mom worked for me, so sometimes she know when I got to be like, yo, we got to get. It's more assertive now. I ain't son right now. So how is that with your mother and your sister and your brother?
I'm still working on that, because I'm like the younger sister and brother, and then mom is mom. So that's my weak point. I'm still working on that. Yeah. But they all do so good in business. Like, I never have to, thank God, what a wood at. But I never have to. Right?
Clearly, you know. Can you find a woman that will help you build? Like, is she built to help you build? And if she's not, then that may not be the one. But so in the process of the daycare, so this is like my first 2 years, hired someone, and she was amazing, right? So, you know, this is technically my first employee ever, right? So doing great, she's amazing. And we hired our accountant to do our payroll. Mistake number 1. Hire an accountant to be an accountant. Hire a payroll company to be the payroll company. So he's doing our payroll, and I want to put her on salary because she's amazing, right? Let's put her on salary. Well, apparently, and this was many years ago, apparently if someone is on salary, there's a minimum amount that you have to pay them to be on salary. You can't just say $8 an hour on salary, right? So it's a minimum amount total that you got to pay them. So lesson number 2, but again, I'm not a payroll company. So we're paying her salary. She's amazing. She falls sick. So she's sick, and I'm still paying her this salary. Well, she also wants the little extra that I always gave her too, because she had plenty of kids she wasn't taking care of, but I always gave her Amazon gifts. So here's $100 this week to feed your kids or whatever, all that extraness. So what she said to me was, I know I'm on salary, I'm sick, I'm not coming to work, I'm paying her that, but I also want the extra $100 you always give me. No. So whatever happened, a phone call was made apparently, and our accountant was investigated. So they came in, the IRS system investigated all of their payroll things. It was either coincidental or somebody called. And they found out that the salary cap that she was on was less than it was supposed to be. So they had me, watch this, they had me back pay her, right? Because I had all the hours reported, back pay her the difference. You know what the difference was?
What?
$100 a week for the last year and a half. Mind you, I was giving her that in cash. So my number one advice for those that are starting, don't try to shortcut accounting and payroll. It's not worth it. It was not only a smack in the face that I was already being a blessing to you on top of that, right? And it just became a whole mess. So get yourself an actual payroll company. The extra $30, $60 a week is worth it. Start paying your taxes on that. And I will also recommend that you get an actual accountant from the very beginning to help you manage all that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I've been commit first, figure out the rest later forever. Now I tell people, yo, take a minute first and try to get it.
Yeah.
Try to do it right from the beginning if you can. Now let me ask you this, because you've helped so many ladies start. What has been the formula to getting them to start? Because I realized that most people's biggest thing is starting. It's like you got a knack for getting people started.
Yeah.
Like how are you encouraging them? What are you saying to get these ladies and gentlemen, like, I'm starting this business. I'm getting that.
Because I'm showing them other people that's doing it. So it's like, I'm really big on just community. So if you can get around other people that's doing it, like you said, you can't unsee it. So if I can just get these new people, that's my goal. Is like always getting newbies. Join the community, and when they see other people doing it, like, oh my gosh, I can do it too. So I would just say getting around like-minded people, definitely.
It's critical. I keep proximity. I think for me, there's not anything for me. Top 3 is proximity. It's the people you surround yourself, the things you listen to, the things you do on a day-to-day basis. Like I make it a conscious effort to do that. I want you to share this for ladies and men, or however it goes, couple dynamics, right? The importance of reading the same book together. I know you put this on. Like, talk
I
about
appreciate
just that, because I think that's a.
And you guys are doing it because V's like quoting stuff, and I'm like, okay, V. So there are 2 things I recommend couples to do if you're trying to grow a business together. First thing is you're supposed to take your partner to every conference you go to, when possible. Sometimes I understand it may not be possible, but stop bringing back doggy bags to your partner. It's not the same type of information. They're not going to understand it the same. The energy wasn't the same because they weren't present, right? And then the second thing is reading the same books. So now I know that if V is reading this book and there's some stuff that you may be stuck on, you're trying to strategize, or people are giving you advice and you kind of run it by her, you already know that the information she's about to bless you with is probably about something that she read that also will help you. Not that she thinks she has a niche, etc. So that's very important that you guys are feeding each other, because your partner has your ear, and you don't want to be sleeping with the enemy.
Like, I think it's so important to have somebody who's ready to figure this thing out with you. Like, it's been game changing.
You say that, we talked about the other podcast, and I love when you mention that, because for the man that is probably sharing this, and like, look, his wife doesn't tell him no, you have to understand who you are and be committed to who you are. The reason why V doesn't tell you that is because she knows whatever you're going to commit to, you're going to figure it out. Every man's not like that, Neo. Every man doesn't necessarily follow through with their actions, follow through with their words. They're inconsistent. They start one business, forget about it, and ask for more money for something else. So a lot of times women do not experience that consistency, or that promise, that trust, that truthfulness, to be able to have that much confidence in their man to not always go against what he's trying to do. So I always say, before the men start jumping out about how, well, Neil's wife does it, why can't you? Please look in the mirror and make sure that your actions are consistent so that they could be credible.
Ooh, that's good.
I hear the oohs. We over here.
What's she doing, y'all?
Yeah.
What I wanted to mention too, because when you said that last time, I thought about, what if we were like that with our children? And I don't want to turn into children now if you're not ready for that segment. But what if we were like that with our children? You know how confident our children will grow up to be?
Yeah.
If we don't just shoot them down every time. Like, I try my best not to tell my children no. Like, in my house, you are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to say, Mom, I don't agree with you on that. You're allowed to negotiate with me. I want to know what you're thinking, because I want you to have that much confidence when you're out there in the world when I'm not there trying to make decisions for you. And I strongly believe because V does not shoot you down is the reason why you can continue to be as confident as you are. Mom Grace is the same way. Mom Grace ain't shoot you down. That's what you want to do, son? All right, let's figure it out, son.
She's more nervous though.
She know the risk that you're gonna take, but she's with you. Like she's here now. What's up, Mom Grace? You know, she's gonna be there at the event tonight. You have people that
Support
do
system
not
is critical.
has to be.
Yeah,
But a lot of people think support means also telling you no or saying they limiting you. It's not. It's okay. That's what you want to do. Let's figure out a strategy on how it can work.
100%.
Yeah.
That's what I like, solutions. How we gonna make it work? Now it can't work. How we gonna make it work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, Coach, right now, one of the things I've been seeing you doing, you're helping. And I'm trying not to, it's hard for me to not talk about business, but there's so many grants out here. You helping so many people get grants. It's grants for women, grants for men, all type of things. Like, what are some strategies around? Because for me, I look at it as like free money. It's something that I've neglected for years that you're making a difference with the money, but what's some things some people should be focusing on? Like, I want to ask y'all now each a business question. What's some things people should be focusing around?
So grant funding is debt free, right? And everyone qualifies for funding. So there are a lot of entrepreneurs that just don't know that funding is available for them. It doesn't matter what industry you're in or what you're doing. So the number one strategy is knowing your mission. What are you doing with your business? What impact are you making? What change are you making? And if you can find a problem within your industry and figure out how your business and your brand can be a solution to that problem, companies are going to start throwing money at you, right? So I tell people all the time, great entrepreneurs solve problems. So if you figure out how your business is going to solve a problem, it's funding opportunities available. A lot of times when we ask for grant funding, we talk about being funded for a building or, just for inventory, but figure out how you can make a change or impact. And just having that business structure, right? So that's going to be huge. Setting the foundation, having your LLC, and being able to take action is going to qualify you for millions and billions of dollars in funding that's available for us.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, you've built a lot of communities, thousands and thousands of people, right?
Yeah.
What are some keys to getting a sticky community, one that sticks? A lot of people they join the community out in a month. They join and you found a way to have your people stay with you a long time. What are some keys to growing a great community?
I would say giving value first and then selling on the back end.
Yeah.
A lot of people just jump on social media like buy. But what can you give first? Value, and then whatever they want to buy on the end, they're going to do that. But then also creating community inside a community. So when I create communities, I realize like people coming from all different sizes. Well, not sizes, but all different walks of life. Some from Florida, some from Georgia, some from New York. So I create state accountability groups inside of the community. So if I'm from Georgia, I go inside of the group and I can join a Georgia community so I can mingle, network, meet up with them. If I'm from Florida, we have a Florida accountability group. So community inside a community, giving value, and then holding people accountable. And that's what those state groups do to each other. It's like, girl, you didn't show up for class today. I'm finna come around the corner and see you, and we finna get on this. I'm pulling up. So just creating community inside the community.
I think community is so important.
Yeah.
I was speaking to your husband earlier, and I was like, how have you been able, y'all own daycares and stuff, and y'all in different cities, right? And I never really see y'all go to Philly, right? How have you been able to, and it's not like me, open up an event space, put a lockbox on there, like you gotta really run it. You dealing with somebody's kids. How have you been able to develop a business where you don't even gotta show up, such a highly regulated business, but it's running like clockwork? Like, how have you been able to, what's some components to building that type of business?
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
And goes back to the organizing aspect of it. Luckily, and thank God that one of my gifts is forecasting. And we talk about forecasting a lot in businesses. You have to master forecasting. I can already tell you what's probably going to happen, let's just say with a parent. We're also in the real estate business, so let's just say with a contractor. I can tell you ahead of time, due to their storyline, what's probably going to happen, I want you to watch out for this. Or I can tell what kind of employees I have. I'm constantly in communication with them, what by their gifts and what their roles are. if we're staffed enough, let's just say, or you're gonna need more people, because those two, they're not attention to detail. You're gonna have more issues or complaints, so I'm gonna need the one that is attention to detail to be able to stay till 6. So things like that. So because I am able to forecast, it is fortunately one of my gifts. I'm able to organize who I need to have present there constantly. And I think that saves me from a lot of complaints, a lot of issues. I am on top of the organizing aspect of it. So paperwork and all that stuff. The person that I have overseeing all that, I'm always managing them because it just so happens that's what I'm great at. But I always tell people the things that you're not great at, you have to hire.
Yeah.
So even though that may not be your gift, these are areas in a business that you need to have. You have to have someone that strategizes. You have to have someone that organizes. You have to have someone that networks. You need to have someone that forecasts for you. And if you're not great at any of those things, you have to hire someone that is, and that is in constant communication with you. So I love that you said that, because my husband, his gift, right, even in the forecasting world, his gift is seeing the vision far-sighted. Like he will know 5-10 years, we're taking this risk now, and this is going to be the return on investment 5-10 years from now. And I'm the detailed oriented one, right? So when we're looking at the bigger picture and trying to predict what can be the ROI for the future and what details need to happen now so that we can meet or exceed the ROI, I am more of that detailed, little details oriented person, right? So my husband, like you said, oh yeah, I got to forecast year or two. Yeah, that's good. But so what do we have to do tomorrow? And what eras can happen tomorrow that we need to find out now how to avoid? How can we predict what can go wrong so that we can avoid that issue and make it right? So that we do have some time to be able to deal with the unforeseen issues that come about that you can't forecast at all, you can't predict. So for those, forecasting is very important because what it does, it helps you predict the future of your business. But the future of your business doesn't mean a year from now. It means a few days from now. It means tonight. It means tomorrow.
Yeah.
What details
What's
do we need to,
next?
right, what's next period? And there's different timelines for that.
What do y'all see coming in this new like it seems like a lot is changing right now. Any changes you're seeing in your business?
Everybody's getting into learning that skill and teaching that skill.
Yep.
So it's not more so of trying to sell a product to a consumer. It's like, how can I get into selling my products to businesses, whether it's digital, whether it's physical,
that's good.
but also not just knowing what to sell, but businesses want to learn that too. So just everything B2B, teaching them your blueprint, telling them what you're doing, your products. Like they don't want you to feed them anymore. It's like, teach me how to fish.
100%.
So,
And then after you go B2B, the next point is B2G to government, because they don't run out of money. And the other thing I talk about is, so EYL is having a pitch grant. You get $100,000. Do what you want with it for you and your business. Yeah. So I was just thinking about, there's so much money out here that we don't know what we don't know. What are some places people start looking for money at?
My go-to is GrantWatch. It's called grantwatch.com. They're going to have a lot of funding, but there's funding right in your back door.
Yeah.
So you can call, we have somebody in our community, she called her city council and said, hey, this is my business, this is the impact we're making, is there any grant funding available? And they told her, we don't have anything right now, but call us back September 1st. Because they have a new pool of funding that's coming available. So you have cities that are giving back funding because they don't have enough people that are applying for the funding, or that they're not prepared to apply for the funding. So just by making those connections, going to your city council meetings, joining your small business development center, going to the Chamber of Commerce events, you can qualify or learn about funding opportunities that are available locally.
So she have a brick and mortar, right? She could possibly go get funding to come fund and teach incarcerated people how to craft who coming out of jail, or teach kids or senior citizens?
Absolutely. There's a couple of things you can do. So Atlanta just gave a $50,000 grant, still out there, $50,000 to rehab your commercial property. So it's a grant for your flooring, your lighting, your windows, whatever you need to do to rehab your property. And that's one thing you can do. The second thing you can do is you can get funding just for the impact you're making by teaching people who, need a second chance, right? So that's another thing you can do. Third thing is get the youth involved, right? So now you have a hands-on activity to get the youth involved off the streets and into a community, And that's gonna get you access to more capital and more funding.
And we do that, so they'll pay us for that?
They'll pay you for that. You wanna take it to a next level, you start a nonprofit to assist with your for-profit's mission, right? So your nonprofit and your for-profit can work together to fulfill a mission. That's a whole nother conversation, but.
That we're gonna have.
She said we having that.
But yeah, that's how you take it to the next level and maximum. So my daycare is a for-profit. We have the STEM-based education program, which is a nonprofit. So my for-profit funds works with my nonprofit to fulfill my mission.
I love that. So same concept here. So we have our nonprofit Hemio, which is for entrepreneur students.
Okay.
And that helps out with our Lovepreneur mission, which is entrepreneur couples, right? And also helps out with our centers because we have a STEM program as well that feeds into the entrepreneurship vision that we have.
Yep.
So
Love it.
Love it.
Oh
Go
my
ahead, mamas. High five. That's what I'm talking about.
You see why I like to link up with the ladies?
yes.
Some magic just start happening.
Oh my God.
We're talking about how to build communities, how to get grants, how to keep these relationships together and get some money.
Yeah, because if you just have money, that's all, and you don't have a family life, you really don't have enough. I mean, and that's Bible. If you just think money is enough, you're not thinking big enough.
Well, ladies, thank you. I want y'all all to leave us all with a word of wisdom for our audience, for them to check out whatever's on your heart.
I'll go. If I can share just one thing, am I looking in the camera? This
If
one?
you want to drive it home, go
Right
ahead.
here? Drive it home? This one right here?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
If I can just share one thing, I promise you, it will all work out. If you just use success loves speed. I love that Neonam say that. Success loves speed, but success also loves patience. Use patience as a strategy. It will all work out.
For me, it's take action. Whatever the vision is, whatever the goal is, take action, go for it, you got it.
Let's go.
For me, it's gonna be give value first, and the sale will come. Don't always lead with buy, sell. It's what I can wake up today and who can I give value to, and the sale's gonna be on the back end.
That's lovely. All of y'all let everybody know how they can tap in with your social media is. If you got something going on, events, let them all know now.
Yeah. Well, I'm Dhayany Walker on all of it, from TikTok, Instagram, online, Lovepreneur. We have an episode coming out from Love and Hip Hop. My husband and I will guest on there, so tap into that.
For me, all social media, ITSS Coach K, have a community for entrepreneurs to teach you how to get access to grant funding and business funding to help you take your brains to the next level.
And for me, all social media, Crafting with Cassandra. I also have a challenge coming up in a few weeks. You can join at passion2profitschallenge.com. And I'm going to show you how to take your skill, build community around that skill in order to create recurring revenue.
She's being modest. She's giving away $10,000 on that challenge, y'all. I suggest y'all
Don't
join.
forget that. And we are giving away a lucky winner. Thank you for that. $10,000 to start your business.
Let's go. So y'all, once again, thank y'all for tapping into another show. Let me know the next ladies y'all want. Y'all requested some of these amazing ladies, so we had to bring them to y'all, and we're going to keep doing that. So we'll see you guys on the next one, y'all. Peace.